Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now let's begin. Tonight, I have three stories to share with you, both based on real experience from real people. Let's begin with the first story. I have always been someone who enjoys reading other people's experiences, especially paranormal stories. Over time, I started to feel like I should share one of my own as well. So I'm going to tell you about my first ever paranormal experience. It might sound dramatic, but everything I'm about to say is 100% true. So, me and my family lived abroad. We went back to Azad, Kashmir, Pakistan. After 3 to 4 years of our summer vacation, my family, along with the rest of my dad's side, all live in my grandmother's house. It's a huge family home. We all stayed together there during the trip. We often spent time on the balcony at night, looking at the stars and talking because the upper floors of the house were still under construction and empty. A long time ago, when my mom first married into this house, my grandmother told her something strange. She said there was a presence in this house. According to her, it had been there since the house was built in the 1970s. It never harmed anyone, it just wandered. Most of us never really thought about it too much. Sometimes, while everybody was asleep, me, my siblings, and my cousins would stay up late playing games and talking. We usually wouldn't sleep until around 12 or even 2 in the morning. One night, we were all sitting together having fun, but my uncle told us to go to bed early because we were being too loud. It was around 11 p.m. One by one, everyone went to their rooms. I remember clearly that I was the last person awake. Eventually, I went upstairs to the large bedroom I shared with my mom and siblings. I locked the door and went to bed. But I couldn't sleep. I kept tossing and turning in the darkness. There were stairs attached to the wall outside my room that led to the upper floor. Then I heard something. Someone was coming downstairs, and they were wearing anklets. The soft jingling sound echoed through the silence. I froze. That didn't make sense. I was the last person to come to my room. So, who was this? The sound stopped for a moment. Everything went quiet. Then it started again. This time it was closer. The anklets were now beside my room. I could hear every step clearly. I kept thinking the same thing over and over. I was the last person to come back to my room. Then, who was this? The footsteps kept coming closer and closer until they stopped right beside my bed. I could feel a presence standing there in the darkness. I was so terrified. I didn't move. I didn't open my eyes. I just lay there completely frozen. The presence started moving again, but this time the sound moved toward the wall behind me. There was no door, no window, just a wall. But the sound continued anyway, slowly fading away. I was shaken so badly that I didn't dare open my eyes, not even once. I kept praying until I eventually fell asleep. The next morning, I told my mom everything that had happened. She immediately took me to my grandmother. My grandmother told me not to talk about it too much. She said there was a woman-like presence in the house that had been there since the beginning. According to her, it never harmed anyone. It simply wandered only. That night, my uncles and aunties began sharing their own experiences with the same presence in the house. I was terrified. Even today, I can't stand the sound of anklets. In fact, I only wear silent anklets now. And to this day, I still don't know what walked down those stairs that night. On one of the main residential streets in my town, there is a burnt-out home that suffered a fire in June 2019. It consisted of 3 stacked apartment units, one on each floor. No one knows how the fire started, but the building is beyond repair and is likely to be torn down. The fire was so severe that it nearly spread to the neighbor building, but thankfully no one died. But 3 families were left temporarily homeless. The front of the building is completely burned out, with boarded up windows and a roof that is partially collapsed. The back of the building still has 3 stacked decks overlooking a small parking lot and a baseball field. From the back, you wouldn't even know there had been a fire. According to the town records, the building dates back to 1900s. I have been inside the building once. When I was in the university, students renting the bottom floor and basement used to host parties there. I never thought anything was unusual about it, other than how run down it was. I do remember a party being evacuated once due to the smell of gas, which thankfully turned out to be nothing serious. I never went back after that, but I still pass the building every night on my walks. Like yesterday, something made me look at it differently. As I walked past, I noticed 2 children around 10 to 15 years old playing soccer in the parking lot behind the building. I waved at them as I usually do, then looked up at the building. That's when I noticed something in the darkness of a second-floor window. There was a silhouette of a person standing and looking out toward the children. I couldn't tell if it was male or female, and I couldn't see any facial features, just dark outline in the window. I asked the kids if they saw anyone up there, but by the time they looked, the figure was gone. I told myself it was probably my imagination and do not to worry about it. The next day, I decided to look more carefully as I passed the building again. The children were outside playing soccer again like usual. I scanned the building closely, but at first I saw nothing. Just as I was about to look away, I saw it again. This time, the figure was higher up in a third-floor window, centered in the building, watching the area below. It looked more defined this time, appearing male, wearing what looked like a dark bowler-style hat, still with no visible facial features. But it shouldn't have been possible. The building is boarded up. The interior is mostly collapsed, and the upper floors are not accessible from the outside. So, how could something be inside? I don't know. But I haven't looked at that window the same way since. This happened to me back in 2013. I had just gotten home from work when I noticed that something felt different in the house. The atmosphere felt strange, and I felt uncomfortable while making dinner. I tried to ignore it and finished cooking. After a while, the strange feeling seemed to go away, and everything felt normal again. Later that night, I spent some time watching TV before bed. But as bedtime got closer, I started feeling unease again, like someone was watching me. When I walked to my bedroom, I thought I saw a shadow out of the corner of my eye. The feeling of being watched got even stronger. I got into my bed and tried to fall asleep, but it felt like I wasn't alone in the room, no matter how hard I tried to relax. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was there with me. It took me a long time to fall asleep. That night, I had a very vivid dream. In the dream, a black smoky figure was hovering above me. It grabbed my shoulders and pushed me so hard into the mattress. I started to fight back and reach for my necklace on the bedside table. I threw my hand forward and hit the figure with the necklace. The moment I hit it, the smoky figure disappeared. Then I woke up. What scared me was that I was holding my necklace in my hand exactly like I had been in the dream. That made me to jump quickly out of bed. The whole experience terrified me, and I didn't go back to sleep for the rest of that night. A few weeks later, I came down with the flu and had to stay home from work. After several days, I was feeling much better, but I still wasn't sleeping well. One afternoon, I decided to take a nap, and eventually, I fell asleep. That's when I saw the smoky figure again. This time, I asked it what it wanted. It answered, but when I woke up later, I couldn't remember what it had said. I told it that I wasn't afraid of it. The figure laughed. That made me so angry. I told it to leave and never come back. As soon as I said that, it became furious. The figure rushed toward me. I felt its hand go through my body and grabbed my kidney. The pain was so unbearable. I screamed so bad, and the pain was so intense that it woke me up instantly. And when I opened my eyes, I looked at my left side. Standing beside my bed was the same black smoky figure. It looked at me for a moment, then it passed through the wall and disappeared. For the next few hours, I could still feel pain when it had grabbed me. A few days later, after I recovered from flu, I developed a kidney infection. I went to the doctor and he prescribed medication that helped clear it up. But shortly after that, I developed kidney stones. The strange part was that it was the same kidney the smoke figure had grabbed during the dream. Maybe it was just all a coincidence, or maybe it wasn't. But to this day, I have never forgotten that black smoky figure. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe and I will see you again.